first. And please just very briefly in a first round say who you are, your name, and the country that you are calling from. Okay?
Who goes first?
You, for example.
Okay. I'm Michelle Godby, and I'm calling from the UK.
Okay. Hello.
My name is Nevia, and I'm calling from Slovenia.
Okay. Hi, Nevia. Thank you.
Hi.
Hello, my name is Alexander Jakovic.
And where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Slovenia, Ljubljana.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who else is with us?
Hello, I'm here,
yes.
Joanna from the UK.
Oh,
good day.
Hello.
Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good, thanks. Nice to hear you.
Nice to hear you too.
Okay.
Anybody
nice
else?
To hear you. Yes, hello. Nice to hear you. Welcome. Hello?
Okay. Hello?
Yes?
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, anybody else? No. Okay, so, hello to everybody.
Hello.
Thank you very much for joining this call. And very briefly, I will introduce myself. My name is Zsuzsanna. I live in Hungary, and I have 3 children. I have a son who is 8, a daughter who is 6, and another daughter who is soon turning 2 years old. And in my life before my children, I used to do training for young people, young adults, about human rights and intercultural learning. And then when my son was born, I encountered many difficulties to which I tried to find solutions, and I was searching the internet, and I came through the Hand-in-Hand Parenting website. It's an organization in the U.S. They are called Hand-in-Hand Parenting, and their website was full of useful information, and finally there I found the answers to my questions, because with my son I felt that nothing was working out very well, and I didn't know why. And then finally there I found the answers, and I felt this is revolutionary. I must tell this to everybody. So I was trying to spread the news on the playground, running up to other mothers, and soon I found out that this is not the way. So then I registered for a course with this organization to become an instructor, to share this information, to help parents to build better connection with their children and helping them understand the emotions of their children and their own emotions connected to their children. So I became an instructor, and it is in this role that I am delivering this call right now. And apart from that, welcome, whoever that is. And apart from that, I have done a bit of, I haven't completed, but I have done 2 years of training with William Emerson about prenatal and perinatal psychology and that type of experiences. So I have a bit of background in that as well, and insights that may be important for parenting from that perspective. And now, as there are only a few of us on this call, I would like that briefly say please your name again, but really briefly say your name, whether you have any children, and if yes, how many, And please also say if you have any challenging situation right now that you need help with, very briefly describe that situation. And please do not be disturbed if I will ask you to be short or finished, because we have a limited time, so it's not because I don't want to listen, but it's because of the framework of this teleseminar. Okay, so whoever is brave enough, please start.
Okay, I'll start again. I'm Michelle Godby. I'm calling from the UK. I'm not a parent. I don't have any children, but I've just enrolled to become a Steiner teacher. And one of the problems I am incurring at the moment is with one of my family members who's 11, and they're going through a major transition, and I feel like I can't actually reach them at the moment. So.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Hello, it's Darek.
Who else would like to?
Darek from Poland.
Nadia from Slovenia. I'm a single mother. Actually really single, because the father of my son he passed away. So I'm challenging all the time with some different and difficult situations, which I'm trying to handle it as much as possible. Lately, I don't have any specific situations, but they come from time to time and from month to month. And as my son is 10 and a half, I get that the period as a teenager is coming more popular, and I believe that I need some additional skills to handle with the difficult times when they are coming. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anybody else?
Hi, my name is Monica from Czech Republic. I have one adult son, and I work with children and parents. So.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, can you hear me?
Not very well.
It's Darek from Poland.
Hello.
Hello. I am a parent. I have 3 children. Daughter Paulina, 21. Milena, second daughter, 17. And my son, Radomiu, 13. So it's enough. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, thank you. Just a request to somebody who has a child in the background. Please, anybody who has other noise in the room where you are, press *6, so you mute yourself out. You will be able to listen, but we will not hear you unless you press *6 again, when you can join the call and also talk. Okay? Thank you. Okay, so who else is there?
I'm here. You go.
Very far. Very far.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. I cannot hear anybody. Hello.
Okay. Hello, I'm Alexander. Can you hear me?
Oh, not very much. Just a moment. Yeah. Hello. Can you speak up? Be really loud.
Okay, my name is Alexander. I'm calling from Slovenia. I'm a journalist, actually. I'm working on radio talk shows with the children, and I'm interested in your subject. Although I had to say in Slovenia, we are pretty at the beginning. So maybe you should tell us first about relationship mother-father, how that goes to the children, and why they're behaving so bad. Thank you.
Do you have children?
Not with me, but I had some experience. I had once a boy and once a girl from the start to 5 years, and then we separated because problems with the biological father.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, so is there anybody else who would like to?
Yes, hi, Zsuzsanna.
Hi.
I have 2 grown-up sons, 21 and 24. Thank you.
Okay. No more tantrums with them. You have completed the circle.
Hello, this is Laura.
Oh, hi, Laura.
Hi, Laura.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, you just joined. Please just very briefly say your name, whether you have any children, and whether there is any pressing subject, challenge presently that you would like to have help with.
Thank you, Susie. Sorry to be so late. My name is Laura. I have a 7.5-year-old daughter, and I'm really just calling in to see what I can access because it's really supper time and it's a bit tricky. But I just wanted to listen in, to be part of it and contribute or listen. Really, I don't have any problems. Just like to hear what you have to say. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. So, first of all, thank you very much for being on this call and arranging childcare and whatever it takes, because, it's having children, it's very difficult to have time for ourselves, and when we have, you could be going to the movie. But instead, you choose to join a call that is entitled Help Tantrums, because you want that the relationship with your child is even better than it is now. So, first of all, I would really like to thank you for this, and I feel it is very important because in our society, we as parents, often what we get is rather criticism than appraisal. And it's important that someone and we ourselves acknowledge that the work that we are doing raising children is the most important work, and that it is hard work and that we need support for that. So please lap your shoulder, okay, for being here on this call and devoting time for this. Now about tantrums. What I'll be outlining here is the parenting by connection approach to tantrums. And it is a very different paradigm, the parenting by connection approach, than what we usually meet out in the world. Okay,
could you ask somebody to put *6 on, because that noise is really loud.
Yeah, please everybody put *6, and then I'll stop for questions, and if anybody has questions can press *6 again to be able to listen, okay?
Thank you. So
it's a very different paradigm, and as you will see, the most important message of it is that your child is good even when it seems like he or she is completely out of herself. And another important message that I would really like you to take away is that no matter how you feel about your tantruming child, and even when you do things at times that happens to every parent that you regret later, you are also a very good parent. And that your child is behaving in that seemingly completely irrational way is just natural, and in fact she is doing the best that she can do. And unfortunately also that we are going through difficult feelings when our children, or most of us are going through difficult feelings when our children are tantruming, is also very natural. And in the following 30 minutes, I would like to give some background information about how our brain works that will explain why I said it's natural and in fact it's good that your child are tantruming. Okay. So, back to this parenting by connection approach and the paradigm. Most of our parents were brought up, and for this reason brought us up, with the view that the children who are born to this earth are like little barbarians, their mind is blank, and in fact it is the parent's job to teach the child what is good and what is bad. The belief for centuries was that if we don't teach children what is good, they'll turn out naturally bad. That's not a very positive belief, but that is how it worked for a very long time. And the tools that our parents and their parents Barbara used most of the time were those of either punishment or rewards. Like when you are potty training your child and she's sitting on the potty, you give her a candy. That's a reward, and you hope that she will repeat the good behavior again. Or if the child pees on the floor, you tell, no candy, or no TV tonight. And that is what is a punishment, and you hope that by this kind of training, your child will understand what is good and what is bad. Now, the problem with this approach is, well, obviously one is that anybody who has kids knows that it doesn't really work. When your child, is in the shop and requests some sweets that you don't want to give, and she throws herself on the floor, and you say, if you continue doing this, we will not go to the zoo on the weekend. Your child may stop for that 10 minutes, but by the time you get out of the shop and you want to buckle up the seat belt, she'll have another tantrum about not wanting to be buckled up in the car seat. So the success that you gain with punishments and rewards is usually very short living, and very soon you have another scenario. And why is that? Because this traditional approach focuses on the behavior of the child. That is kind of the symptom. I say an analogy here. Let's say that you get a skin rash, okay, and you buy one cream in the pharmacy, and it doesn't work. And you buy another cream, and it doesn't work. And you buy a third cream, and you carry on buying creams without asking the question, why is that rash on my skin? In a very similar way, when children are tantruming or behaving in ways that irritate parents or are called bad behavior, they behave irrationally, usually we got stuck with the behavior itself. I say an example of my own, my child wants the red straw to drink the milk in the morning, and there is no more red straw. And she starts crying, and I do anything. I don't know who recognizes himself or herself in this. And I do anything. I even, empty the rubbish bin and find the red straw from yesterday so that the crying stops. But really, I give the red straw to the child, and more often than that, by that time she'll say that, no, I want the blue one. Why? Because I only dealt with the behavior, with the symptom, and I didn't ask, why is that child behaving like that? Like in the case of the rash on the skin, why is that rash on my skin? And when we find that, okay, because I have milk allergy, that's the cause of the problem, then we can eliminate milk from our diet and we can have a cure for the rash. Very similarly, when our children behave irrationally, so-called, we must stop trying to fix the behavior and ask ourselves, okay, what is the reason for this child to be behaving like this? What is behind? What are the feelings that make this child behave? And if we can address that problem really, then this irrational behavior will stop. And so the parenting by connection has a very different approach to children to start with. And that approach is that when any being who is here on earth is naturally good, born as a good person, as a person who loves being connected to others, who loves cooperating with others, who loves sharing things with others, and who enjoys being appreciated and being cooperating with other people. So that's the starting point. And of course, we see that our children are not at all the time cooperating and loving, and at times the siblings that we raise get along well, but at least 2-3 times a day, it's not at all that they are cooperating or sharing nicely. There are moments when they don't behave like this. And from the point of view of the parenting by connection and this new paradigm, we see these occasions as occasions when they are not able to be their own good being. And why? Because they have some kind of feelings that are an obstacle in the way for them to be their kind of good person, or something like that, yeah, to put it like that. And in fact, to see children's behavior in this way is a big help to us as parents. Why? Because when we give rewards and punishments, we get frustrated because it doesn't work. But when we ask the question, okay, I see a child who is not cooperating, who doesn't want to share any of the toys. Okay, so what is going on with the children emotion? And we know what I'll soon explain, what is happening in the child's brain. Then we have good tools, really good tools that can help that child to return to its good self so that she can enjoy playing with others and all that again. Okay, so what is the basis of all that in our brain? Because it's good news and bad news at once, but we as human beings are built in a way that tantrums are a natural part of our being, and that at times we behave irrationally. Both children and parents and adults are a kind of natural to us, and it is all built in our brain. And how, I will outline very briefly now. There are 3 parts to the brain, 3 main parts. The oldest part of the brain is something called the reptilian brain. And that part of the brain is responsible for our physiological survival. That means for our heart functioning, our kidneys, different livers, all that, our lungs. And this part of the brain ensures that our physical body is functioning well. There is a second part of the brain that is called kind of the mammal brain. And one important information, that this reptilian, this oldest part of the brain, is really ready and functioning almost fully by the end of the first trimester after conception. So even in the mother's belly, this part of the brain is already almost fully developed. Then there is the mammal brain, which is again a very old part of our brain, and that is basically the seat of our emotions. It is also called the limbic system, and the most important function of this limbic system is to assess whether is it safe here or is it dangerous here. And why is it important? It is good that we have this system, we have this limbic system, and it is our main tool of survival as babies and young children. I mean, imagine a baby cannot take care of herself. A baby is completely dependent on adults to survive. So it has this limbic system, very cleverly designed by nature, by God, whatever your belief is, very cleverly designed. So we have the limbic system to assess, okay, is it safe or dangerous? And what does safety mean for a child? Is there anybody here for me or not? That's the main function of the limbic system. It assesses, it works like a radar, and it continuously gets the nonverbal signals of the surrounding and assesses, okay, is it safe? Is there anybody here for me? Because if there is no adult there for a child, a young child, its survival is very questionable. So this limbic system is continuously assessing this. And this system is also already fully developed in the 7th, 8th month of pregnancy. And when the child is born, at birth, it's functioning at 100%. So if you have children or you met babies, very young babies, you may remember that they just catch your eye and they look into your eye and you just cannot get away from them because they want to be connected. Because this is what is important for their limbic system, for the seat of their emotions. This is when they feel safe. Okay, there is somebody there. And there is brain research showing that, in fact, this part of the brain gives out a special wave, kind of an energy wave, when it is working well and when the system signals safety. There is this wave function that helps all the neurons in the brain to form connections. So basically, when the limbic system is in balance and it signals, it's safe here, all the other neurons and neural pathways, the child's intelligence can grow. So when we help a baby by giving them attention and connection to feel safe, we really feed their brain and we help them to be more intelligent later on. Okay, and there is a third part of the brain, which is the rational brain, and it's the youngest part of the brain. The reptilian and the mammal brain are a lot older than this youngest part, which is called the prefrontal cortex, the rational brain, and here sit the rational functions, all the things that we consider ourselves as humans. So, for example, and what we are proud of as humans. What I mean here is rational thinking, mathematics, good judgment. In the case of the child, for example, okay, I will not eat one more chocolate now because then I cannot eat spaghetti bolognese. My tummy will be full. and it's my favorite dish. This judgment to be made, the prefrontal cortex is required for. Here sits our ability to pay attention. What I mean by this is that when we say to a child, don't touch the washing machine, they actually can listen to us, can pay attention to us. So that's also a function of the prefrontal cortex. Here sits our impulse control, our ability to control our impulses. Meaning, okay, now I'm very angry with my little sister because she took away my toy, but I will not hit her. This is also in the prefrontal cortex. And planning, understanding that, okay, first we need to go and pick up a sibling from the kindergarten before we can go to the playground. To be able to understand this, it also needs our rational brain. And in connection with the rational brain, I have two bad news. One is that it develops fully by the age of 20. So, unlike the reptilian brain and the mammal brain that are fully functioning at birth, all these abilities that I just listed, good judgment, rational thinking, being able to listen, blah, 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 planning, they will be fully developed by the age of 20. So maybe when we require a child at age 4 to be able to control their impulses, it may be too much to ask them, really. And one more bad news is that, and any honest adult can confirm this, I think I'm not alone with this, that even these abilities that we possess at age 20, 30, 40 or up can kind of disappear from one moment to the other. Perhaps I'm not the only one who suddenly lost it and couldn't control their impulses and started shouting, or you might have had the experience too that you were so stressed at an exam that you couldn't think of an answer to give. So our prefrontal cortex, even after age 20, sometimes does not work. And when is it that it does not work? Well, exactly at the moment when our limbic system signals its danger. And this is very important to know. So basically our prefrontal cortex at those moments when our emotions are not well, when we are not emotionally balanced, our ability to think completely shuts down. And it's true for children, and it's true for adults as well. Okay, and before I ask whether you have any questions concerning this, I will just give one more analogy. Imagine that you are in a restaurant with your loved ones and you are enjoying a very beautiful dinner, but suddenly you really have to pee. No matter how important this evening with your loved one is for you, you just must run to the loo. Is that right? Yes. So, similarly, when our emotions are not well, when we feel upset, frustrated, then our limbic system goes into sends an alarm signal, and we immediately have to take care of that need before we can take care of anything else. So as we must run to the loo when we must, when we don't feel well emotionally, our prefrontal cortex shuts down so that we can give all our energy to fixing the problem in our limbic system, in our emotions. And now I stop for a minute, and if you have any questions concerning this, please press *6 and ask. if you have no questions, then I will follow with the good news, okay? Because so far I had all this bad news that, your child prefrontal cortex will not develop by age 20, and in any case it loses its ability to function when the emotions are not sitting well. But the good news is that, as I mentioned before, the limbic system is basically fed with connection. It's the main way to bring someone's emotions and their limbic system back into balance is to offer connection. Because connection, as I tried to explain before, connection is what gives the signal of safety in our limbic system. So when we have a child who obviously lost its ability to listen to us, we asked 100 times already, and it's still not doing the thing, okay? Or it's doing any other irrational things, requesting, the third color of straw in the morning to drink the milk. What we can do at that time is not to try to fix the problem, but to see it as, okay, my child's limbic system, my child's emotions are not well. And how can I help? I have to offer connection so she feels safe again, and then her ability to think will return. So, to make this long story shorter now, is that when children feel connected, then they are able to put on their pajamas, go and brush their teeth, leave home for kindergarten. And when they don't feel connected, then they will not be able to do these things smoothly at all. This is when they start behaving irrationally, meaning coming up with irrational requests or going into tantrums. Do you have any questions still here? Okay, so now that we know that, we need to examine a little what are the things that break the sense of connection, that break the sense of safety of the child. Okay? And in fact, these are many. We adults have learned many things that our children do not yet know. The things that are normal for us may be still very frightening to them. But there are some very common causes that break the child's sense of safety. One is when we adults cannot pay attention to them. We are busy. We would like that life is kind of smooth, that our children do whatever they have to do, and meanwhile we can take care of food, pay the bills, go to work, take care of ill relatives, and so on and so that. And amongst all the things that we adults have to do, very often our children do not get the attention, the connection that they really need. We may think that we provide that because we are used to have less connection that we need. But in fact, as I explained earlier, it is children need a lot more connection and a lot more attention that usually than we parents are able to give. And it is not something that they can control, or it is not something that they manipulate us with. But it is something that is built in our brain as a tool of survival, that we want to be connected to other people. So whenever we are busy and we cannot pay attention, their feeling of connection with us breaks. Then it happens that we are well connected and all goes well, but some little things happens that reminds them of a time when we were not connected, or when they experienced something dangerous or something that frightened them. I say an example of my own child. Once she witnessed when she was 4 that a dog attacked our dog, and it was kind of a bloody scenario. And she was very scared, and I had to be there, trying to save our dog from this other dog, so I couldn't take care of her much. And before that experience, she was very friendly with dogs, but after that, anytime she saw a dog, she would go into this upset, and she would just cling to me, start screaming and shouting. Even when we were in the playground, very connected, playing catch, lots of laughter, as soon as a dog would show up, all this feeling of connection for her would break, because that would remind her of that time when she was really, really scared. So then the feeling of connection again breaks for her. So basically, these are the two main things, and the connection, the feeling of connection, breaks many times a day for a child. Imagine the day of a child who is going to kindergarten, or I will just say again the example of my own child, Reka. Okay, she wakes up in the morning and. We snuggle a little bit, we talk a little bit, and it's very nice for both of us. And then her brother wakes up. He comes in the midst of this and also wants my attention. So that very nice sense of connection for my child, for my daughter, breaks. Okay, first thing. Then we go on during the day, and it's time to go to the kindergarten. I leave her there with the kindergarten teacher. Again, it's a little knife in her heart. The feeling of connection breaks again. Then in the kindergarten, there is her best friend who that day wants to play with another girl. Another little knife in her heart. By the time I go to pick her up at 4 o'clock, all that sense of connection that we built in the morning through being together nicely is lost for her. And usually she's in a state of emotion and mind that she needs kind of emergency help. Okay. I now stop again and ask whether you have any comment or question concerning all that has been said.
Can I ask?
Yes?
If my daughter's in the throes of a massive tantrum, so she's in the flow of just an utter screaming fit, and how can I break that? So if we're in public and this is something that's about to start and go on for 20 minutes, how do we get out of that?
Okay. Thank you very much for asking any question, because it was a bit strange for me to talk, on the telephone and not seeing people. And here there are more issues than one. One is being in public and how it is for you that people see this scenario. And the other one that I'm just coming to is what is a tantrum really?
Okay.
And I'll answer your question in a short while. Okay.
Thank you. No worries. Thank you.
Because there are things that you can do.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So. yeah, so now we said that connection is what children need to feel safe and kind of behave well, or be their good selves. And when connection breaks, they start to behave funny and irrational. And that at that moment we need to give connection so that they can return to their good self. And here there is another thing that is important, or for me it was very kind of, okay, now I understand this experience, to know. And that is how really the limbic system comes back to balance. Okay. When our sense of safety is not yet so broken, then it is enough that we get some attention and connection. However, there are times when we have endured stress for a longer period, let's say a whole day in the kindergarten, or a whole week of hard work at our job. Okay? And at those times, a little connection will... there is more needed to be done than a little connection given. And why? Because here comes stress into play. Well, stress is originally something that is there to help us. You know, in all times you were there, the lion came, and you got stressed, and this gave extra energy to your body to either fight with the lion or run away. However, and when you did that, either you ran away or you fought with the lion, you used all that extra energy in your body. And afterwards, you could be relaxed. However, in our modern lives, stress doesn't become kind of used in a good way. What happens to us is that we sit in our car, we are in a traffic jam, and we are very stressed because we are late from work. But do we use that extra energy generated in our body for any other reason than swearing? No. And that extra energy cannot go anywhere. It gets locked in our bodies. And our body needs to get rid of it. And we have, fortunately, natural built-in mechanisms to do that, which are crying, tantruming, laughing, and also shaking and perspiration. And this is another very important information that our parents and our grandparents didn't know, because there weren't any calls like this that they could join. This information was not around. That in fact, crying, tantrums are not irrational behaviors. Usually we parents, when our children cry, we feel very stressed. And we want that the world is again good for them because we love them so much. We want that everything is happy, that they always feel sunny and they always feel happy. This is what we want for them. And when we see them crying, we would do anything that it changes. But when we do not allow them these tears, when we do not allow them these tantrums, we ask them to keep this stress, this extra energy that nothing can be done with, we ask them to keep it inside. And imagine that you have a river that wants to flood, and you want the dam to hold it. And you need lots of energy and a very high dam to hold all that flood. And when we ask our children not to cry and not to tantrum, basically we ask them that their life energy goes into holding this back. And fortunately, they cannot do it. They lose it. And they cry and they tantrum because they know that this is what is best for them. They know that after the storm, after this big storm of horrible feelings, when they shout and blah, 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 and shake and kick, there is going to be good weather. The sun is going to shine again. They know that. So, when your child starts crying or tantruming, the best thing that you can do when it's a well-developed tantrum is just to be there, ensure that everything is safe, and listen. And this is what we call in the parenting by connection approach, stay listening. It's a very practical tool that you can use when your child has a big emotional moment. Now, okay, and later I will say what you can do to kind of, not, or what you can try. It's not sure that it will work, but what you can try, and at times, many times it works, to prevent this from happening in public places, because there are things that you can do. But what you can do when your child is already crying and tantruming is this. I will say an example from my own experience. Just last night, my almost 2-year-old daughter refused to go to sleep. And she was bothering her sister, then she was bothering her brother, going into their bed and blah, blah. Obviously, she was tired, but for some reason, we just moved. So it's a new home that we live in, which must be very stressful for her to have lost all that security that she enjoyed before. So for that reason, she couldn't feel safe enough to fall asleep here in this new home. And she was doing all these irrational things. And what I did at this point is that I went there, I hugged her, and I told her, no, baby, it's time to sleep. We are going to stay in the bed. And then she started to fight with me and cry. And she was pushing me away. She wanted to go out of the room. She tried to bite me. She was crying, and almost the only word that she knows, repeating it, no, 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 all over and all over again. She went into this big tantrum. And all the time, what I was doing is that I was setting this limit that no, it's time to sleep. She wanted to go out of the room. I sat in front of the door, and I was there, being rather exhausted. I knew it was going to last a little while, but I said, okay, it's something to be done. I stayed there and I listened. And what she did was, she came to me, she started to attack me, saying no, 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 or screaming no, no, no. And in the other moment, she went into the farthest corner of the room, and she was crying there. Then I was talking to her softly, baby, I know it's hard to be in a new home. We are going to sleep soon here. And then she would be crying in the far corner, and then she would come to me again and fight with me more. And this went on for about 25, 30 minutes. That she went away and came back, and she was fighting and crying. And all that I was trying to do is remain calm, offer connection, talking to her softly. Okay, baby, I know it's hard. Or only that. And then after about 25, 30 minutes, she came to me. She took her big toy, a big dog, big toy. She took that and came to me and continued crying right next to me in my arms. And then she was crying a little bit longer there. And then she asked to breastfeed, and then finally she fell asleep. And this is something that when our children have tantrums that we can do. There is no need to be harsh. There is no need, and we do it in vain anyway, there is no need to try to stop it. It is like trying to stop the Danube from flooding. It's impossible. All you can do is that you stay there, try to remain calm, and listen all the way through. And when their limbic system gets rid of this stress, then they can relax. And in this case, fall asleep, or they come back to their good thinking, and they can go on with their life. Okay. And I stop here again to ask whether you have any questions.
Sorry, it's me again, Tripti. I had an example recently where my youngest daughter was having a tantrum, and we were meant to be going to see a cinema, and my oldest daughter really wanted to see it and wanted to see it on time. And she was asking for something completely unreasonable. She wanted to go swimming straight away, and we'd go swimming the next day. And she wasn't willing to see reason. And I didn't want my older daughter to miss out because we gave a tantrum 20 minutes because the cinema experience wasn't going to come back for her. And maybe to my detriment and my fault, I did actually ask Karina to stop tantruming, and I said that we're not going to go unless you're quiet because, I'm not putting up with screaming children that I'm taking out for a treat. And she did. She did stop crying, but I realised that maybe I'm at fault for stopping my children tantruming, but I don't understand how my oldest wouldn't miss out on an experience when I'm giving 20 minutes to a random tantrum. So what's the right
you
thing?
did absolutely the best thing that you could do. And don't worry, because your younger daughter will give you another chance when you can listen to her crying.
Great, let's do it again.
You will have another chance. Our children always give another chance. Don't worry about that at all, that this one time you didn't listen. And I think it's important that when there are siblings, in fact, it does them good. I see it, at least with my children, they start learning, regulating themselves with our help. There are the situations that life brings, and that's it, and they learn. And I admit, at times like this, I even buy lullaby. No, what is it? It's a sugar, it's a candy, very sweet, that they suck and they don't say a word at all. So, for example...
Sorry, please.
Yeah?
I'm going to totally embarrass myself by telling you that I work with people who go and stop adults behaving badly at pubs, and what we do there is we hand out lollipops, because while adults can't shout,
that's a lollipop.
Anyway.
Thank you very much for bringing this. I think it's an excellent thing to do in a pub, because you offer something sweet, both connection and the lollipop. And at times our best choice, especially when we have more children, we have work, we have, our best choice at times is to hand a lollipop, and that's it. And then we can set up ourselves, have somebody to tell, this child is making me crazy, and by this kind of venting our own frustration, and then when time comes, we can predict usually when our children are tantruming. Usually children kind of pick up habits. My middle daughter, she is really the straw tantruming, okay? It's always around the straw that she starts a tantrum. So I can prepare myself, okay, tonight perhaps it's going to be about the straw. And then I arrange the other children that they have somebody. And then at that time, I can give my full attention, and she'll benefit from that. But it's not important that It's every time that you do this. It's important that they do get chances, but not every time. So you did just great, huh?
Thank you.
Welcome. Okay. Anybody has any other question?
Hello, Maria here.
Hello? Yeah?
Hello. Susie, do you hear me?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I'm asking myself whether in your seminars you ever offer any explanations or the samples also from the point of view that we are adults but that we are still kids to our parents.
Yes.
And the connections between our parents and the kids. And comparing, for example, the relationships with our kids.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see any differences in between, or I don't know? Are we able to solve the problems in different way, or are we repeating the kind of the same, let's say, mistakes or the way of behavior? I'm just interested about your opinion on this. Thank you.
Answering this now would lead us away, but our own upbringing has tremendous impact on how we raise our children. And the parenting by connection tools can be useful both with our own children, and the insights about how emotions work and all that can help us a lot with our parents and our relationship with our parents and partner and colleagues and all that. So now this is all that I would like to answer to that, but another time more. Okay, and now just very briefly, I would go back to the question of what about, tantrums in public? Are they unavoidable? And to this, sometimes they are unavoidable, but we can plan, knowing that really it's the sense of connection that keeps our children on the good track. We can prevent many difficult situations. So, for example, if our child has a habit of tantruming in the shopping mall, it's a good idea to include connection time before going to the shopping mall. Or if it's a big tantrum every day, leaving to kindergarten, it's a good idea to include connection time before leaving home for the kindergarten. And this tool we call special time in the parenting by connection approach. Unfortunately, I don't have time to describe in detail, but what I will say, the key thing is that in this connection time, we do something that the child wants to do. So it's really the child who can choose. The way we start special time or connection time is that we go to our child and say, okay, I have 5 minutes now, or I have 10 minutes now. Let's play what you would like to play. What is it? And the more delighted you can be and the more enthusiastic you as parent can be, the better it is for the child. It's like balm for the child, that, oh, mommy, daddy loves me, it's so good. And then you do what the child requires. My son had some difficult times when he woke up and immediately he lashed out on her little sister, like hitting and teasing and all that. So finally I decided, okay, I'll do some special time with him in the morning. And I woke him up before the other kids woke up, and I told him, look, my son, we have 5 minutes. What do you want to play? And at that time he loved playing and cheating in it card games, a special card game. So he would choose that, and then he would cheat and he would win. And we played it for 5 minutes every morning for a week. And those days when we had this special time, he never hit or never teased her little sister, because he was filled with this sense of safety that, okay, I'm also seen. There are 3 of us, but Mom knows me too. Mom sees me too. And this was enough for him. And this is something that you can do before shopping mall time or before leaving to the kindergarten. And that really works wonders. Hello.
Hi everyone, just joining. Sorry for being late. I'm calling from Portugal.
Okay. Hi. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. So, stay listening. The tool that I described before, when you have already a nice, fully developed tantrum, and you just offer your connection and listen to all the feelings that come, is what you can do when your child has too much stress and must offload then and there. And to prevent tantrums in kind of situations that are not easy for you to handle, public, blah, 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 to prevent them, you can do special time, connection time. And this is no, there is one more thing before I give you the chance to ask questions, that all this is also true for us adults. As I said at the beginning, that even when we do and say horrible things to our children, when we are very upset, we are doing the best that we can, and that we are doing things that kind of built in and natural. At those moments, now you can understand what happens to you. For example, your child is having a tantrum in the shopping mall, and you feel that everybody is looking at you. Perhaps they think you are a horrible parent, and you feel ashamed. You don't feel safe anymore. So your prefrontal cortex shuts down, your ability to think stops, and while you do the best you can, usually at those times we also have an emotional outburst. We take this opportunity to offload our feelings that we gathered, not only because of this situation, but from work, from stress because of the bills, from stress in our partnership, blah, 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 blah. And unfortunately, at those times, we may lash out on our children. How can we avoid this? Well, we must be listened to. But of course, our children are too small to understand this. So we must find another adult whom we trust and who knows that even though we say and do horrible things when we, ventilate our feelings about our children or our work, they listen to these feelings, and they know that when we have said all that is there to say, and they listened well, we'll be able to make good choices, and we'll be able to find the best solutions. And now I stop. This is what I wanted to present in this teleseminar. And now, please, if you have questions, ask them. Okay. Hello?
So, hi. When my younger daughter is hitting my older daughter randomly for doing something quite innocent, just like sitting on her bed, and she's quite well developed into this, what should I do if she's just relentlessly going to attack her older sister?
Yeah. How old are they?
They're very close in age. The youngest is 5, the oldest is 6, and they're 16 months apart. There's been some separation in the family, so parents live apart, and the youngest doesn't want the oldest to cuddle mummy and things like that. But yeah, the younger one is physically quite aggressive, and the older one tends to get hit a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's a lovely child generally, but one time I said, "Why are you hitting your sister?" And she said, "Because I want to." So she hits because she wants to.
Ah, okay. When you ask why did you hit, she said, "Because I want to."
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Okay. In any situation that is challenging for us parents, the first thing is that we get an opportunity to talk about this. So have your husband, friend, whomever ask, okay, do you have 10 minutes? Please, just don't say anything, just listen, okay? Because we don't need their advice, their ideas, no. We need to find our thing. And when we get this listening, we can come up with fresh ideas. And for these fresh ideas, what I would be doing as a first step is always something around play, being playful about it. My son is also very aggressive, or at times he's very aggressive. And what I do at those times is that I say, okay, I see a wild lion here. How can I tame this lion? And what we do at these times with children like this is that we give what we call the vigorous snuggle, the big bear hug. So you don't scold, you tried, it didn't work, blah. You don't do all these things, they didn't work. You go there and you pretend to really enjoy that this child is being wild or this child is being aggressive. So, and you say, okay, here is a little lion. And you give a big affectionate hug, which is setting a limit immediately. Because when you hug a child this way, that child cannot hit anymore. So, and you cuddle with this child, or you scoop up this child, and you take that child a little further away. And what I usually do is that, okay, I try this, I do this play. Oh, what did I read in this book? How can a lion be tamed? I remember now, I need to give 3 kisses on the, shoulder, nose, ear, whatever, And then I try giving kisses there. Again, I show my affection. At the same time, I set the limit. No hitting anymore. And then usually they refuse, but they enjoy.
And if I throw something into the mix.
Yeah.
So if I'm trying to get the children ready to school at the time that it's going on, then am I trying to distract them with play by this lion taming role play? Distract them from the hitting.
In fact, it's not distraction. It's what they need. It's connection. Their mother tongue is play. So when you're being playful with them and you play in this way, it changes the whole scenario.
To get to school?
Yeah, I know. It's horrible. It's horrible. But you know that this is happening every day. So unfortunately, we always hope that it's going to be a different day, but it's never, or rarely. So we may as well change and say, okay, we wake up a little earlier and we play a bit. We give a pillow. Yeah.
And what if the child who's fighting is not interested in playing and just wants to carry on fighting? So it's just as simple as the things. My oldest daughter sits on my youngest daughter's bed in the morning. They have a bunk bed, and so her bed's at the bottom, and she doesn't like it, and she hits her. I mean, so Ruchi, my oldest, is just physically not allowed to sit down by the youngest one. So, I mean, where is my oldest while I'm engaged in play? Because my youngest is protecting her bed, stopping my oldest sitting down.
Yeah. In these cases, what is best, and you may experiment it, you need to experiment a bit, and to be able to do that, you need to be listened to about how frustrating it is to have this going on for so long, because it must be very much so. what could be making them both laugh. And usually what makes them both laugh is when you place yourself as the target. So, for example, you say, okay, who is the strongest here? Come and fight with me. Or something, but playfully and be silly. And then, of course, play that you are easy to fight down.
Yeah.
And that will make them laugh. And then they both will attack you. And that makes them a team against you. But you need to experiment a bit because, there are different feelings behind these behaviors for different children. And in the play, you will find whatever makes them laugh, to whatever they react with laughter, is your way to go. But it's always a good idea. Also with teasing, when children tease each other and call each other bad names, you can say, oh God, I hate when I'm called, and then you say. Or sometimes I just simply set the limit. Look, you cannot tease your daughter, but you can tease me, or your sister, but you can tease me. I hate being called, and then I say, I don't know, cauliflower or something silly, or banana. Yeah. And then I play, I really hate it. Don't ever call me banana. And then immediately they get that it's a call for being called banana. And then they can both call you banana. And then you can be mock angry. And being playful in this way is also good because in these situations, we ourselves have feelings of frustration, anger, and all that. And when we are playful, we reframe the whole thing. And you don't need to put the dam on your feelings either. You can express them, only that you transform them a bit to being playful. Like sometimes I say, or often I say to my kids, okay, do you see my second and third head growing out? I am now becoming a dragon, and soon I'm gonna spook out fire or something like that. And in this way, I don't have to sit on all those frustrating and angry feelings, but I can show them, but not in a way that is harmful for them. I don't know whether it has.
Not entirely, because
not entirely.
I just see this kind of almost, aggressive victim relationship between my kids. And my youngest one, even if I engaged in play with the oldest one, she still would not be allowed to sit down on the bed, otherwise my youngest one would physically hurt her. But maybe that's something that would be pulled apart if I just joined a talking partnership. So I understand that everything can't be solved straight away. But, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Welcome. Welcome. Okay. We have time for one more question, if there is any. Okay, if not, then I thank you very, very much for making time for this call and participating. I hope that this was helpful, and you find many, many helpful articles and other resources on the www.handinhandparenting.org website. I strongly recommend that. And I forgot to say in the beginning that this teleseminar was offered in the framework of a European partnership financed by the European Commission. That the title is Soft Skills Empowered Parents, and that we will be offering this kind of talks over 2 years. So if you like this, there'll be other ones. And the hand-in-hand parenting in the U.S. are also offering every month a free teleseminar like this. So you can find information on their website. And one more thing is that if you have any feedback to us about this, please email it to the person who forwarded the invitation to this call to you, so that it gets to us. Okay.
Can I just say something, Susie?
Yeah, please.
For the people that joined us later, you did advise early on, and they probably didn't hear this, that the whole conversation tonight would have been recorded and made available again to listen to. Could you explain how they would be able to do that?
Yeah, unfortunately, I forgot to press the recording key.
Oh, okay. No worries.
This whole thing is for next time.
Absolutely. It's been wonderful, really inspirational. Thank you very much.
It's my first teleconference ever, and
you did really well. You did. It's brilliant. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Susie. It's been fantastic to listen in and it's been lovely. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you as well. Thank you very much from Jeff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you
bye
very much.
To you all.
Bye bye.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Good luck.
Bye. Bye.